Hey everyone, welcome back. Welcome back to another session of this time using RSI, advanced RSI strategies in trading. Guys, before we begin, I'd just like to check if everyone is everyone able to see my screen, is able to see me and hear me properly? Okay, David, nice to see you back. Antoine, all right, I see a couple of familiar names. Nice, everything is good. Good stuff, man. That's good stuff. Valerio, nice to see you too. Okay, awesome, awesome. But cannot see if you can't see me, then I think there are some settings they can see because we have both the webcam and the screen on. Uh, yeah, uh, po- Jack, poll it. Yes, I saw it. I'll get to that after the the webinar. All right. Yeah, thank you for supporting. Thank you for supporting. All right. Now let's begin. Okay, guys. Now I want to encourage everyone to use there is this. I literally have another screen open, just monitoring your questions as they come through. So just head over to there. You won't be able to see other people's questions. You only be able to see your questions, right? So it's your questions are all private, but I can see everyone's questions here, right? Yeah, it's nice to see a lot of you guys. Yeah, great to see you guys again, right? Okay, now before we begin, one of the questions that oh, just see IC Markets logo. Yeah, you should be able to see me. One of the questions that I kind of want to check with everyone, right, is let me see. I'm gonna post it right now. I'm gonna launch this, right? Basically, like how many webinars have you guys attended? Is this the first webinar, right? Or is this the second, third, or is it more than 4 times, right? Oh wow, we have more than 30% who says more than 4 times. Awesome, awesome. That is great. That is great. Oh, 8 times. Wow, yeah, I remember you. Yeah. It's great. Thank you for your kind words. Okay, it's nice to see that most of you guys, 40% of you guys are here, or rather 39% are here for the first time. Everyone else, second, third, and fourth time. So it's awesome, awesome to know that you guys keep coming back for more. The great news, guys, the great news is that starting from this month onwards, um, and okay, Antoine says that he implemented the stochastic strategy. It works like clockwork. I'm glad it works well for you. Yeah, it's a very advanced approach to using the stochastic today. RSI is going to be even more advanced. All right, so uh, it warms my heart to hear you guys say that the strategies that I've taught you guys are working well, right? For all you guys who are here for the first time, right? Yeah, for all you guys who are here for the first time, right? This session, we're not touching on the super basic stuff. We are starting to go very deep. We're going to learn a little bit more. The strategies are much more advanced in nature. It takes a lot longer to learn them, but once you master them, right, you can your results will show over time when you practice them. So the good news for everyone is that IC Markets has given your feedback, right? They have actually approved for there to be 2 webinars a week, right? Previously, we only had 2 webinars a month. Now we have 2 webinars a week. The great thing is that we have an educational webinar today and tomorrow at exactly the same time, right? We have a live analysis session, right? So that is where we'll come on together. I will analyze the markets. I'll show you what are the top market setups for the day, or rather for the week, right? And there is where you can shoot me with all your questions. I'll be showing you how I use Fibonacci retracements, extensions, RSI, stochastic correlation, trade management. I'll show you everything there, right? And it's a time for us to kind of practice together too. Okay. Now, I do want before we begin, I do want to I do want to give you guys a few important links that always come up over time, right? The first thing you guys want to do is go to icmarkets.com, right? You want to go to more and webinar, right? More under education. There's this place called webinar, right? They'll be launching a new one very soon, but all the past sessions, right? All the past sessions, you'll be able to see them over here. So anytime you want to watch any of the webinars, go over here and yeah, go over here and view. okay, and go view them. So you can, you know, if you click on any of this, it'll take you to your Vimeo page, right? And you can just watch everything, right? And really, you know, fast forward, rewind at your own pace. So that is one thing which I want to show you guys. Okay. Now, I noticed that the next webinar link is not yet here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share this link with you, right? I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste it in the group chat. I'm going to paste it in our group chat, right? I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but if you can, go register for it. It's our live analysis session tomorrow at the same time. So tomorrow at the same time over here, right? We'll be going through a live analysis session, applying what we learn. Okay. Okay. Right. Diane, yes, just let me. You can send it to. Okay, let's go now. Without further ado, let's begin. Okay. Where am I? Where am I? Yes, it's going to be recorded, guys. It's going to be recorded. Okay, let's begin. IC Markets webinar. So, anyway, standard disclaimer first, as usual. All right. So, guys, remember that anything shared in this webinar is purely educational in nature, right? So always do your own due diligence before you trade. You know, nothing should be covered in this webinar should be construed as investment advice, right? So importantly, this is our agenda for today, right? We're not going to talk about the usual RSI stuff, right? We're going to talk a little bit more about the advanced ones, okay? So let me just take my handy dandy pen, right? We'll take a look at ideal RSI settings, right? Ideal RSI settings, where to use 80, 20, 70, 30. I will show you how we can use RSI very effectively, you know, for forecasting breakouts. You know, when you see divergence, what's a potential, like how far do they usually reverse, right? I'll be showing you how you can use divergence reversals in a different way, and how can and when you combine them together, this is one of the strongest RSI trading strategies, right? Is forecasting breakouts with divergence, right? It's a very strong technique, and I'm pretty sure you guys are gonna enjoy it. Okay, now okay, yeah, nice to see you, Clement. Let's begin, right? So introducing your host for today, right? It is me, it is Darth Desmond, right? May the fourth be with you for those of you who celebrate Star Wars Day, right? If you're a Star Wars fan like me, it took me a while to create this edit, right? To put a helmet above myself, right? But yeah, so anyway, I'm your host for today, Desmond. I run the award-winning research firm Everest Fortune Group and the Forex Army, right? So we are finalists for the 2019, 2020, and 2021 Best FX and Best Equity Research. Our team of CFA, CMT, and CFT accredited traders usually, you know, we are advising banks, brokers, and hedge funds on where the markets are heading, and we have a special tie-up with IC Markets, right, where we are they decide that they want to partner with, well, the best and basically bring you guys institutional grade research, right? Not the stuff you find at Baby Pips, not the stuff you find at Forex Factory, right? Really bring the good stuff and show you how we do it at institutions, right? We're here to educate, we're here to teach, we're here to guide, right? And it'll be an exciting journey. You know, you guys are seeing me every single week, right? So yeah, we got questions coming in. Is that how can someone be certified? You know, CFA, CMT, and CFTE. You actually need to take the exams. They range anywhere from 2 to 3 years, sometimes 4 years, to complete the exams, right? So yeah. Tani, if you want to find the past webinars, you just go to icmarkets.com, and you know, for the sake of everyone here, I'm just going to paste the link in here. So oops, yeah, I'm just going to paste the link in here so everyone will be able to see it. Okay, there we go. Okay, now let's begin properly, right? Yeah, so if you guys head over to the Forex Army, that's where I built my crazy bunch of indicators and tools, right? But it's not endorsed by IC Markets, but it's just the stuff that I like to build. But yeah, for those of you guys who always ask me every webinar, do I have an Instagram account? I don't have a professional one, per se, but this is my personal one. If you want to go and find it, you can find me there. It's a comfy Desmond. All right. Now let's begin the ideal RSI settings. Okay, ideal RSI settings. Can I get a show of hands rather? Who here uses RSI, or who doesn't use RSI over here? Yeah, who doesn't use RSI here? I use it. Okay, Julia said I use it a bit. Never tried it. Nal says I don't. I got a couple of people saying that I don't use it yet, right? Always I do. No. Andre says it's no. Tane says use Bollinger Band. Or I haven't used it. Most of you guys MACD. Never use it. I tried it a few times, right? Now, mostly together stochastic. Use it for divergence. Okay, awesome. Yeah, it's a good it doesn't replace stochastic. It doesn't replace MACD. Okay, RSI. You know, if you attended my previous webinar, is on stochastic. RSI is very different, right? RSI is very different, right? So what you want to do, all right, is you want to use it properly, because I've been wanting to use this. I find your lack of faith in the RSI indicator very disturbing. It is a great indicator, guys. It's a great indicator. I swear. Okay, this is the last Star Wars. This is the last Star Wars little meme that I'm gonna put here. All right, we need to focus on the webinar. All right. All right. Ran out of time to yeah. Yeah. All right. So yeah, the RSI indicator is really strong, but only if you use it properly, right? It's only if you use it properly. So today I'll be showing you how I use it, right? It's very, very unlike the traditional way of using it. Yeah, we're going to the dark side, man. Let's go. So 80-20 or 70-30, right? How many of, okay, what's your preference when you use RSI? Do you use 80-20 or do you use 70-30? I see a couple of you guys saying 80-20. Quite a number of you say 70-30 actually. Or if you have different settings, you know, you can tell me to. Use the default 70-30. You got Audrey using 90-10. Some people say they use both 75-25, 95-5. Depends on a few factors, right? So there are, the majority of you guys are saying 70-30. The second most popular choice is 80-20, right? Followed by 75-25 and like 40-60 and the rest. Okay. Now, what if I told you that I don't use any of those settings, right? Yasir, I can see your messages in the chat, so don't worry. Okay. Yeah, because you're only able to see your own questions, guys. So over here, you're only able to see your own questions. You cannot see other people's questions. So it looks like you are chatting with yourself, but I can see all your messages. All right. So I don't use 80-20. I don't use 70-30, right? So let me share with you what I use. Okay. Today I'll be showing you a little bit more advanced, right? No one ever said when they created the RSI indicator that 80-20 or 70-30 was the correct levels, right? That is just levels which we put over time, right? Just to, you know, help us so-called interpret it slightly better. But the market does not care if you use 80-20, 70-30, 95-5, 60-40. The market doesn't care. The market doesn't wait for price to go to, and the RSI to go to 80 and like, oh, okay, it's at 80. Since I've promised the entire world of Forex traders that RSI is 80-20, I better reverse from here, right? That's not how it works with the market, right? So I want you to have a little bit of a paradigm shift, right? I want you to have a paradigm shift and not think about 80-20, not think about 70-30. In the examples I'm going to show you, we're not going to even refer to any of this. Okay? So let me show you one example. Forecasting breakouts, right? Most traditionally, right? Yeah, I don't use it together as I don't use it all the time together as stochastic oscillator. Depends. Each one tells you different things, right? RSI, super good for forecasting breakouts and reversals. Okay, most of the time you have a RSI here, right? And you would have, you have 80 over here and you have 20 over here, right? So the RSI will go up and down, up and down. So most of the time you use it to call reversals, right? If it's up here, you expect it to go down. If it's down here, you expect it to go up. So that's the traditional way of using RSI. right? So let me share with you how I use RSI. Okay, let me show you how I use RSI. Okay, first I use RSI to forecast breakouts. Okay, so this is this is something you see very often, right? So what we're seeing is we look at price, and price is bouncing one time, price is bouncing two times, right? So we draw a little bit of a trend line that comes all the way to here. Okay, so we're expecting price to come down to here, right? Okay, we got someone asking what about the period, right? RSI 21, RSI. So what I use is RSI. I'll toggle between 21, 34, 55, and 89. Yeah, Fibonacci numbers, but these are the 4 RSI settings I will toggle around, right? The reason why I don't stick to one is because you need to see which one is telling you a clearer story, right? You need to see which one the market is obeying, right? The market is fluid. You need to be fluid too. If you're not fluid, right, now you get very easily taken advantage of by the market, right? So always, whatever you learn about RSI, take a whole new paradigm shift, right? And try to grasp what I'm sharing with you today. That there is no standard setting, there's no standard levels for RSI. You need to look at RSI, and only when you see it in a different way can you really appreciate the true power of RSI. Okay. Yeah. All right. So RSI, in this case, we're looking at price. We're expecting it. We're wondering if price will reach this level and it might bounce up, right? So what we do is we find the levels of, and we see how it coincides with RSI. So in this case, we can see that it coincides here, right? It coincides here. So we draw our own ascending support line. And we notice that RSI is right over here. So most people think that RSI is a lagging indicator, right? We think stochastic is lagging, moving average is lagging, RSI is lagging, MACD is lagging. What do I mean by lagging is that you wait for price to move first before the RSI can, make a move, right? So most people think RSI is lagging, but if you use it correctly, it can be a leading indicator, okay? So in this case, right, we can see RSI is right at this level, right? So RSI is actually testing the ascending support even before price has reached this ascending support. Okay, it's testing this support even before that. So we scroll down here and we fast forward when price is now touching the RSI, right? What we do, no, when price is touching the ascending support line, correct? What we do is we look at RSI over here, right? We notice that RSI has broken the ascending support. It bounced one time, it bounced two times, and we notice that it has broken the ascending support, right? So most people think that price is going to go up from here, right? They think that, okay, price is going to go up from here. But for us, if we look at RSI correctly, what we notice is that RSI is giving us the heads up, right? So a lot of people are asking, right? I can see in the question, how do you avoid the bull bear trap, right? How do you avoid the false breakout? How do I avoid, buying here, thinking price will go up, then suddenly price going down? Because it looks like such a nice ascending support line, right? One of the tricks is to look at RSI, right? See, is it telling you something which is not lining up properly? In this case, right, what we're seeing is that RSI has broken the ascending support. So something is not lining up properly. An ideal scenario is that price is right over here, RSI is right over here, and is ready to bounce up, right? But in this scenario, something is not right. Something is a bit suspicious, right? And it seems that because RSI is broken down, we would stay out of this trade. We either short it, right? But there's a whole different trading strategy, or we prevent ourselves from going in, right? Because if for every loss that you avoid taking, for every losing trade that you avoid taking, it's money you made. You must think about that. It's not only maximizing your profits, it is minimizing your losses, right? So knowing this, having this knowledge now moving forward, what you want to do is before you take a bounce, before you try to play a bounce for most strategies, try to see is RSI telling you a hidden story? Is there a different story, that RSI is telling you today that is not lining up with price. Not it's just not lining up properly. So from here, we can see that true enough, RSI continued going down and price really just, it gave a little bit of a fake out, like it's going to bounce up, then it went all the way down, right? This does not happen 100% of the time, right? This does not happen 100% of the time, right? Instead, what you notice is that it happens enough for you to use it to your advantage when you see it. Okay. Now this is one thing on forecasting breakouts. We have questions coming in, a lot of questions on what's the best time frame, right? Usually when I use any technical analysis, not only for RSI, not only for stochastic, right? I tend to gravitate towards anything like 30 minutes, 1 hour, 4 hours, and maybe even 1 day, right? Anything below this, like 15 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, it's a little bit too choppy for me, right? Technical analysis doesn't work that well, because how technical analysis works is the more people who look at technical analysis, the more people who use it, the better it gets, right? That's just the universal law of like technical analysis, right? The more people look at that support level, the more the higher the chance that it might work, right? But if you're on the 1 minute chart and no one in the world is looking at it with you, or a very small percentage of people are looking at it with you, right? You're very vulnerable to the market whipsawing. You're very vulnerable to news, right? A lot of this stuff. Okay, so what you want to do for sure, right, is if you're focusing a lot on technical analysis, like you're not trading news, you're focusing more on technical analysis, right? You do want to focus more on the slightly higher time frames, 30 minutes, 1 hour and stuff. And yes, I do look at multiple time frames. I tend to look at a top-down approach, meaning that what is confirmed on the 1 day will be reconfirmed on the 4 hour, which will be reconfirmed on the 1 hour, right? It's a top-down approach, right? We learned that in the institutions, and I personally recommend that too, right? Okay, so this is one way which you can use the RSI to forecast a breakout. Okay, now the next thing I want to share with you guys, bullish and bearish divergence, right? Who here, just to get a rough gauge, who knows what bullish and bearish divergence is? All right, yes, it is. Clement, it does, right? I do. Okay. Hansel's not too sure. Cornelius, it does. Yeah. I learned it last week. Oh yeah, that's great. Okay. Sign of lowering. Okay, it's not so much of lowering the intensity. First time I'm hearing that term. Know it with MACD. Okay, it's very simple. Divergence basically means that something is not lining up, right? The indicator is just, yes, exactly. The indicator is going the opposite direction. What I mean by that, so there are two main kinds of divergence that I use. I use classical divergence, meaning that, right, if price is going up, right, so price is making higher highs. A bearish divergence is when this is price, right? So this is price, and this is, let's just say this is RSI. It can be RSI, it can be stochastic, it can be MACD, right? A bearish divergence is when, maybe like this is going up, this is going up, this is going up, but this is going down, right? So you notice that price is continuing to rise over here, right? This is rising, 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 but this is rising, 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 falling. So this is what we call a bearish divergence, right? Bearish divergence. Okay, so when you see a bearish divergence, where is price? Yes, I'm drawing something. Oh, how come you're not able to see what? Yeah, you should be able to see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, the red green color blindness. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna pick a different color, right? Let's pick orange, right? Okay, yeah, orange. I'm not sure. Can you see this instead? Is it slightly clearer? I notice it's slightly hard to see. I couldn't see it myself, right? So yeah, much better. I can see your question. Don't worry, right? So yeah, so for price, price is making higher highs, and RSI was also making higher highs, but only suddenly it started to reverse, right? Suddenly it started to reverse. So this is what we call divergence. This part here, price is making higher highs, RSI is making lower highs, right? So this is a bearish divergence, right? This is making bearish divergence. Um, I'm not able to increase the thickness of the pen though, but yeah, I'll draw on something. I'll draw on a white background later, so it'll be easier, right? So this is what I would call bearish divergence. Um, okay, this is a bearish divergence. Okay, that means price is likely to go down, right? That means usually RSI will overpower price and say that you go down. Now, this is one of the key questions that we always have is, if we see divergence, how far down does it go? Okay, so one thing I want you to take note of, right? If you this is a strategy that I really love, right? So we notice over here, right? Price is making higher highs, right? It's going upwards. RSI is making lower highs, right? It's going downwards. Now, one of the tricks to play, one of the tricks to play, right, is the how far down price will go, right, tends to be where the divergence began, right? So this was where the divergence began. So it wants to correct itself, right, to come down to this level. It does not always happen this way, but if you notice a very strong divergence where price is like really going up further, further away from the first divergence, this is a very good idea. This is a very good target to play to. Okay, we can see this is usually what happens, when that divergence, right, price usually comes down to test, price usually comes down to fulfill its divergence potential. Now, this is first and foremost a very important, it also happens to be a support and resistance area, Antoine. That's correct. So it's even better if it is. Usually it's a pullback support, right? Because the very nature of a divergence is that you need one high, you need a second high, you need a second high, right? So it tends to reverse to the previous high over here. Okay, that is one trick we're trying to teach you. You might not see it all the time, but when you might not see it all the time, but when you do see it, and especially if there's a very big gap, right, between the swing high and this level, it's a good first target to play to. Okay, yeah, so divergence can happen on RSI, can happen on stochastic, can happen on MACD. You can use divergence across multiple indicators, right? Now we have a question which I want to share with you guys, right? And it seems to be a prevailing one, so I'll take it. So we have, let's just say we have let's just say we have, we're going to put on our handy dandy RSI indicator. So what I like to do with the RSI indicator is I like to remove everything, right? I like to remove everything. I like to make it a tick line, right? Okay. So this is the RSI indicator, right? So let's just say, let me see if I can find a good example here. Let me see if I can find a good example here, right? Are you guys able to hear me? Because someone is saying there's a sound issue. Okay, you can hear me? We can hear you. Okay, awesome. Awesome, that's good. Right, so there's no problem with the sound. That's good. Okay. Now, I guess like divergence, right? So in this case, you have divergence here, right? You see price making higher highs, you see RSI making lower highs, right? Yeah, it's more or less that way, right? What is even nicer is that there's a mini divergence inside here, right? So what do I mean by a mini divergence? A mini divergence is that not only are you seeing like this big RSI, from here all the way to here, but you also see this, right? This to this is the same as this to this, right? So you have a mini divergence within a bigger divergence that increases the strength of the RSI. Okay, I believe if you change the RSI settings, you might not get the same one. 21, you actually still get it on 21. 34, you actually get it a bit. 55. 55, it stops being a divergence, right? My favorite RSI is actually 21, right? 21 is actually my favorite RSI number, right? But different RSI tends to tell you different things. I'll be showing you a little bit more later on how I play around with different settings, right? Yeah, I'll show you later how I play around with different settings to find, to fine tune your RSI to see whether it makes sense in the market. Okay. Now, let's continue, right? I want to show you how you can use RSI to find a bearish divergence reversal. Okay, this is not the normal way we should use it because, right? Let me show it to you. Okay, so in this example, right, we can see, where is my handy dandy pen again? We can see that price, has came up here once, it reacted down. It came up here a second time, it reacted down, right? So this is your standard support and resistance trade. Okay, when price is over here, right? When price is over here, should you sell or should you buy? Guys, what do you think? Would you sell or would you buy? I see. Okay, and Antonio is saying that he will. No, Cornelia says he's gonna buy. I like Mihai's answer. Says it's not gonna do anything, right? I will wait and sell. Wait for RSI. Wait. All right. A lot of people say actually sell. Okay. Now, if you're just using support and resistance to trade, you would normally sell, right? Because it's a very common strategy, right? It's a very common strategy to, one time, two time. This is clearly a swing high resistance, right? So when price is over here, you want to sell. This is a very common strategy that is being used. How you can increase the probability of that strategy being correct all comes down to how you use RSI. So what you notice is that I didn't draw a straight line for RSI. What I did was I didn't draw a horizontal line. Instead, I drew a descending resistance line. This is an important point for me. This is an important point for me. And now this is another important point for me. If I drew a horizontal line, right? If I drew a horizontal line, I would have completely missed it, right? Let me see. I think I did it on Aussie dollar. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I have it here. I don't know. I'm not sure which one I did it on 20th April. Yeah, it's over here, right? So the RSI I was using was 21, correct? So this is, okay, this example is the same example as I'm using over here, okay? Now, you see over here, right? It's very easy to draw a resistance line over here, right? We can see that price has reacted one time, reacted two times, and reacted three times, right? So this is clearly a big resistance level, 0.7815. Now, where does this all line up in terms of RSI? I'm going to find that little vertical line. So I would find the swing high and I draw it down and see where it matches on RSI. Okay. Okay. And this was before the big reversal. Okay, because from here price actually dropped very strongly. Now let's just say we do not know about this, right? I'm just going to take it away, right? So what happens is that if I did draw a RSI, no, if I did draw a resistance line, I'm going to remove this. You will notice that RSI reacted here, but over here, it reacted slightly, it did not reach the level. Over here, it also has not reached the level, right? So if I drew a horizontal line, it would not have on RSI, it would not have given me the information I needed. Instead, what I do is I ignore the horizontal line. I ignore the idea that RSI you only need to can draw horizontal levels on RSI, right? So what I do, right, is I take my a trend line and I just draw it this way instead. right? You notice instead of being straight, I actually move it downwards so that it captures this level, right? Because this level is an important level since it corresponds with this swing high over here. And now that I have this level, what it's telling me is that RSI is right on that level where we are expecting a reversal. How do we know if this reversal might be successful? It's very simple, right? Firstly, RSI is on level, so it's good. There's an increased chance. Previously, you were only using this. Previously, you're only using this, right? So maybe you have like you're using one element over here. So maybe you have a 30% chance of being correct. Okay. Now, once you add in RSI, you add in the second element, right? The second element, maybe you plus 15%, right? Oh, sorry. Yeah, you plus 15%. So now you have a 45% chance of being correct. Okay. Now, the next important thing which I want to show you is that you will notice, I'm just going to zoom in here. Oh, sorry. I'm going to zoom in over here. You will notice that price is going higher. I'm going to zoom in over here. And you notice RSI is going lower. So price is going higher, RSI is going lower. So what do we have? We have this thing called bearish divergence. Oh, wow, this is small. Let me, yeah, 28, right? We have bearish divergence here. So if we add in bearish divergence, right, we'll plus the third point. Sorry. Yeah, you'll be the third point over here. And maybe you plus another 15%. So we not only have 30%, 45%, 60%, right? Now the odds are in our favor that this move, this might be a successful reversal. Previously, if you only use like support and resistance and you only confirm your trades with support and resistance, then maybe you have the odds are not in your favor. But if you add in the RSI descending resistance, you add in RSI bearish divergence, right? You have not only one, you have two, you have three reasons why you might see a nice reversal. I think if you use your Fibonacci extension, you might be able to find something. Yeah, you have about a 78% retracement here, right? So price is also going to test this 78% retracement extension, I mean. So you're adding in many different things, right, to increase your odds of being correct. And true enough, right, what happened from there is that price really just reversed nicely, right? We can see the RSI reversed very nicely and price has correspondingly reversed very nicely. All right, so that is one very, very important thing when that's one very, very important thing when it comes to trading, right? If you want to find a reversal, right, a normal reversal which you're playing like your just a very, very vanilla kind of simple reversal, you can improve your probability of being correct by seeing whether RSI is actually showing any divergence, right? Don't just stick to the standard. I'm going to remove everything. Don't just stick to the standard horizontal levels on RSI, because if you draw the horizontal levels, you might not have realized that RSI is actually on resistance. You can actually connect the levels. This is one thing which I want to teach you guys, right? How do you connect the levels? It's very simple, right? You just need to come to draw a vertical line over here, right? You find the swing high and you draw a vertical line. Yeah, see, you find the swing highs and you draw a vertical line and you see where it coincides with RSI, roughly the swing highs. Yeah, roughly where the levels are. When you know that level, then you draw, then you connect them together and you extend them all the way. Right. That is how you find hidden levels on RSI. Right. Yes, you can add in if you're looking at price action, you can look at you look at price action when price is right at that level to see whether you might have a higher chance of getting a reversal. I think, oh yeah, in this case there's a very big bearish engulfing candle. So if you got in here, yeah, you could have played the move all the way down too, but you will have missed out on a big move that happened there already. Okay. Now, yeah, thank you for finding it very cool. I'm glad you guys find it cool. Yeah, so people are asking how we'll find the, I don't want to digress, but if I were to draw a Fibonacci extension, starting point, middle point, ending point. Okay, starting, middle, ending. You want to learn about Fibonacci extension? Go to the IC Markets webinar series. Watch Fibonacci retracements, Fibonacci extensions. Right? You can learn everything there. Now, let me touch before I dive in deeper. I just want to share with you one last advanced trading technique, and it's called forecasting breakouts with divergence. This is learning what you have, putting to practice what you have learned, and it's one of the strongest ways to forecast breakouts, right? If you always had problems forecasting breakouts, this is a super way that you can forecast breakouts. Very high probability kind of success that you can get it only if you do it right. Okay, so so RSI. Okay, let's just look at this example, right? We are looking at ascending trend line over here. Most people look at ascending trend line, right? And they're like, hey, is price going to break? I have no idea, right? So you think that price might be continuing to go up. So most people, when they see that, you know, there's an ascending trend line, they just really keep buying and buying and buying and just hope that price keeps going up. Okay, now, how do you know when is the end of a trend? How do you know that this, you know, this little thing here, you know, price will continue bouncing, yeah? How do you know this is going to happen? You never know. So what you can do is you can look at RSI, right? See what is the hidden picture that RSI is telling you. Okay, so in this example, let me show you, right? We notice that RSI is also bouncing. It's also bouncing. But what happened over here? RSI didn't bounce. RSI actually broke the ascending support line, and it is like failing to, you know, it's not a false breakout and it comes back up. You can see that it breaks and it is unable to reintegrate it, reintegrate back into the ascending support line. So this would set off our alarm bells, right? This is telling us, oh, okay, there's something happening here. Price looks like it might be breaking the ascending support line. I want to be very, very careful, right? I want to be very, very careful, right? So not only has price broken this, but what you notice, right? I need to erase my, yeah. What you notice is that price is making higher highs. Yeah, you know, the rest of the world thinks, okay, that is great. You know, price is making higher highs. We are safe. But what is happening with RSI is that not only has it broken this, but it is making lower highs, right? So that means there is a bearish divergence. This is one of the most advanced ways you can use RSIs to actually forecast when a breakout is going to happen, right? So this, you can tell that something is wrong over here, right? RSI is not rising with price. RSI has broken the ascending support and is showing bearish divergence with price, right? So if you always thought RSI was a lagging indicator, this is my way of showing you that RSI is actually a leading indicator. It can tell you in advance that, whoa, you better be careful about this uptrend, this bullish trend, because it might be ending very soon. And at the first sign of weakness, like it's breaking over here, get out, all right? Because what happens is that price really breaks this and drops very strongly. Okay, so this is one of the important things I want to let you guys know, right? Yeah, I'm going to show it to you, not only I'm going to show you another example, right? You know, we're expecting, you know, price to continue to drop, you know, to drop. But what we notice is that RSI is, you know, RSI is starting to break out. So something is telling us, you know, is telling us a different story, right? And true enough, you know, we notice that RSI has broken out of here, right? So this descending trend line is not as, you know, it's a little bit suspicious, right? Price is now right at the level. Price is right at that level, and we are thinking whether will price continue to go down. 99% or rather the majority of traders, you know, who end up losing money. They're looking at price and they're like, oh yeah, you know, trend line, let's sell from here, right? But if you know how to use it from an institutional perspective, you're looking at that and you're like, hey, a little bit suspicious here, right? RSI has broken the descending resistance and there is bullish divergence. You know, RSI is going higher and higher and higher, and price is going lower and lower and lower, right? So that to us, you know, um is a warning sign, right? That to us is a warning sign that it is safer not to play this move, right? Because there's a higher chance that price might break out from here. Okay, and true enough, you can see that price really just broke out from there, right? And RSI also broke out from there. So this is a very important, this is a very important lesson that you need to learn, right? Don't you notice in all my in everything I shared with you today, right? Everything I shared with you today, I did not once use RSI 80-20, right? I didn't once use RSI 70-30. All of it was using ascending, descending divergence for RSI. If you know how to use that properly, right, go practice it, right? It will open your world to a world of possibilities that you never knew you could use with price, right? Okay, I got questions coming. Thank you for your kind words, guys, right? So people are asking, when do we put our entry? So it is not necessary on when you put your entry, rather is where you decide not to put your entry. So in this case, most people think that they're going to play the reversal, right? But of course, what we do instead is we don't play this reversal over here, right? And personally, I don't want to say that you should, if you see this situation, you know you should go long, because in terms of a trading strategy, it's not as simple as that, right? Yeah, you know, you should still at least wait for a little bit of a confirmation. What is more important is loss. You know, profit making is as important as loss avoidance, right? If you know when you shouldn't take the trade, right, half the battle is won. So in this case, because you know it's not lining up properly, you know the stars are not really aligned, you know something's a little bit suspicious, right? It's a good idea to not take the trade. Okay, because what happens is that, you know, instead of dropping down here like we expected, you know, price actually broke up. Okay, so it's hard to say. A lot of people are saying that yeah, I um right, okay, right, Abdul, that's very nice of you. Abdul says that I can't believe he's getting this advanced class for free. You know, it's better than all those so-called gurus out there. Thank you for your kind words, guys. I do want to let you guys know that IC Markets is dedicated to really teaching you guys these kind of advanced strategies. You won't get this anywhere else. Save your money, don't go for all those courses. Instagram traders, they hang a nice little Lamborghini, you know, they rent a Lamborghini car, right? And then they say, oh, you know, you trade like me, pay me $1,000 and I'll teach you how to trade, right? Please don't do that. You know, you can get all the awesome stuff at IC Markets, what we're trying to teach you, right? So yeah, you know, yeah, this learn and practice this, because what we're going to do is that I'm going to send you guys a link right now, a very important link, right? This link, for those of you guys who might have missed it, I'm going to copy this. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to paste it. Go register for the live analysis session tomorrow, right? Live analysis session tomorrow will be same time, same place, right? And we'll look at the markets together, right? Yes, I use RSI 5 on a contrarian technique, right? So yeah, go sign up for the session tomorrow, right? For those of you guys who want to rewatch the previous webinars, go to icmarkets.com/blog/webinars over here. I'm going to copy and paste it. Yeah, /blog/webinars, and this is where you can watch all the previous webinars, right? You can learn some of the awesome strategies that if I'm not wrong, the live session will also be recorded, right? So it's a little bit scary because all my calls on where the markets are gonna be heading will be recorded too. So it's gonna be fun. That's what I live for, right? But yeah, it'll be every Tuesday moving forward, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, right? Education, analysis, education, analysis, education, analysis. All right, so that is we are really putting in the effort to teach you guys, to guide you guys, so that you not only learn but you can apply properly, right? Okay, guys. Uh, yeah, I'm glad you guys like it. Now, once again, I require you guys to help me with a very simple poll, right? As we're reaching towards the end of the webinar, right? If you can just rate this webinar from 1:5, right? Because this feedback is usually given to IC markets to let them know how the webinar is being performed, right? If you find it good, you can rate it anywhere from 4 to 5. If you find that it's lousy, you know, please share with me, right? You can rate it a number 1. Like I said, I cannot guarantee that I will not hunt you down and, you know, use the force to choke you or something. but you know, okay, just kidding, right? But yeah, just let me know how I can improve, right? So that I can better, you know, deliver this kind of webinars for you, right? Because ultimately, you know, every week I'm just looking at the feedback that you guys give me and see how I can teach you guys better. Okay. Now, one of the okay, it's very nice. Really good 10 stars. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much. Never a dull moment, right? Awesome. Right. So very very importantly, right, we're going to keep these webinars more on time. So 45 minutes to 1 hour, right? 45 minutes to 1 hour. We're going to do most of our we're going to try to cover as much as possible. Okay, 98% of you guys rated 4 and 5, so that's great. Thank you very much. Right, so we're going to keep these sessions more concise so everyone can, you know, stick to the time frame. And tomorrow, you know, we'll jump on a live analysis session together. We'll look at the markets. Prepare your questions beforehand, because I will just take the questions as they come on, right? It'll be one of the first live analysis sessions we're going to do with IC markets, right? So it might be a little bit shaky here and there, but yeah, just okay. We have questions actually asking about the true RSI indicator. Okay, if you guys want to know, just let me. Yeah, if you guys want to know, on the forexarmy.com, I do have a trading tool called the MT4 True RSI, right? This is a different trading style where basically, I know it's yeah, I basically look for where the reversals happen. Like, you notice that it actually scans the market and see where the big reversals happen, right? So as long as he has an 80% confidence level that price is going to reverse, it identifies that, okay, this is the within 58 to 60%, this is where the reversal is likely to happen. So when RSI reaches the 58 to 60%, that is where, you know, there's a high chance that it might reverse, right? So you notice that it scans across multiple RSIs, 13 all the way to 89, and it highlights what are the hidden levels of resistance, what's the hidden level of support, right? So I actually have an example of it over here. I'm not sure I can show it to you. So for example, so for example, I have my pen over here, right? This RSI 13 actually says that there is a hidden level of support. Yeah, there's a hidden level of support and a hidden level of resistance at 62% and 29%. So what happens is that you see one bounce over here, one bounce, two bounce, three bounce, 4 bounce, and 5 bounce, right? So what the indicator does is that it looks at the bounce and see where it happens on RSI. So this one was okay. This one was out of the range. Okay, okay, okay. So as long as 80%, right? It has an 80% confidence level, 4 out of 5, it will highlight this as a hidden hidden area of support. So there's actually a 29% is where if RSI comes down to here, there's a high chance that it might bounce up. The same thing that we do for resistance too, right? But I loaded this indicator a while ago, but yeah, so this is roughly an idea on how the true RSI, the true RSI works. Yeah, I Foster actually worked out average high and low. Yeah, Antoine, I'm glad you find that it works quite well. Okay, tomorrow I'll be doing a live market analysis. I'll show you some of the setups I'll be taking myself. Because of compliance reasons, I can't exactly like show you the trades, per se, but I can show you, this is the reversals which are looking at stuff. Okay, now of course, yeah, this indicator is not endorsed by IC markets, right? It's just one of the indicators which I built myself, which you can look at if you want to. Okay, now that's it for me, guys. Thank you all for tuning in and watching all the way, right? And thank you for your good feedback. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tune in on the live analysis session, right? And it'll be an awesome time looking. Prepare your questions beforehand, all right? It's great to see so many of you guys back here, right? I always enjoy my time with you guys, right? And at least I can pretend to be Darth Vader today or something. Awesome. Yeah. Yes, you can use the tool on IC Markets MT4. Yeah, Hamid, I'm seeing your questions, but I'm sorry, it's like we have 500 attendees here, and the questions just come through too fast, so sometimes I might not be able to see them, right? So I do apologize if I'm not able to respond to them as quickly as you want me to respond to them. Okay. Now, anyway, you know where to find me, right? Thank you very much, guys, and yeah, may the force be with you. Okay. Okay. Bye, guys. Bye. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I'll show you tomorrow. May the force be with you. Yeah.